Hello, my name is Buddy Sarant, and today I wanted to make this video for the purpose of sharing with you some information about how to read your business activity statement, BAS. In Australia, if you are running a business and register for GST, you are likely required to report to the Australian Taxation Office every quarter, every 3 months, how much your business made on sales, the GST collected, and the GST that the ATO owes you back, along with other information that I would like you to go through in this video. I wanted to share with you a copy of the business activity statement that we have prepared and sent to a client for review. The first page of the business activity statement usually contains the summary of the information addressed to the client or representative of the organization. In this case, the business activity statement will determine who is it for, the period that it covers, and the outcome that it has been estimated and owing or refundable from the ATO or payable to the ATO. This is a summary of the information that we collect or prepare to the clients to review. The second page of the business activity statement that we prepare usually contains a declaration of substantiation information that has been submitted to us to prepare the business activity statement. In this case, the declaration confirms that you, the client, has confirmation that all the transactions are relevant for the period have been submitted to us, either by providing a copy of the bank statement or access to your software. In the letter confirmation, we confirm that we ensure that your activity statement is prepared accurately and correctly, and however, we only rely on the information that you have provided us. This is the declaration that requires the signature and the date of the document for us to submit it to the ATO. The third page of the business activity statement is very important as it contains a lot of information. The first bit of information that I would like you to acknowledge is the GST on sales. This is information that we, based on the information, have determined, you owe to the ATO. In this case, the amount is $4,090 that needs to be paid to the ATO. But we also have accounted for GST on the purchases. So things that have GST, we would have accounted for. And in this case, the client has $990 as a credit that the ATO owes to the client. PAYG tax withheld. It's applicable if you have employees and are reporting single touch payroll. So this is the amount that you withheld from the employees and is required to be paid to the ATO because they will use it as a credit when the employee files the tax return. PAYG income tax installment. This is the amount that the ATO has calculated based on the previous year tax liability, how much you will need to withhold or put aside for your own business to not have a shock when the time to file your tax return comes. This is tax paid in advance to the ATO. In this case, the amount is $7,878, which is likely a fourth of the last year's tax liability. So how the ATO calculates this amount is based on the information submitted in the tax return from the previous years. So if you have a tax bill in the previous year for $10,000, the ATO will divide that by 4 and send you a tax bill or raise a PAYG installment amount in your business activity statement, expecting you to pay it in advance. Obviously, there's a credit. If you have a credit, that will be populated as well. So the total of all the amounts that you owe to the ATO is presented on this column, $15,348 in this case, minus the amounts that the ATO owes you will bring you to the amount that is the actual outcome of the return. In this case, the client is expected to pay to the ATO $14,358. The declaration requires the signature of the client and the date of the signature. The second page also includes the payment option, how you can pay the ATO. This is populated from the information available on the ATO portal and doesn't change. It's unlikely to change for the purpose of business activity statement, the reference number will always remain the same, and the biller code for the ATO is always 75556. The also option to pay the ATO is by direct credit, which you can use the bank account of the provided in the business activity statement to make the payment, and make sure that you use the reference number as a reference for it to make sure that it goes to your account. The next page of the business activity statement is additional information, but it's also very important because only you, the owner of the business, is able to verify these figures, because I will be preparing them based on the information that you provided. The total sales for the quarter are presented in this page. So in this case, the sales for the quarter were 45,000, and this amount includes GST or not. This is information that I recommend clients to always verify, because only you will actually know how much you got paid in the last quarter. So if you think that this amount should be lesser or higher, it's important to contact us. PAYG tax withheld breakdown is the information populated by the single touch payroll reporting that you might have been doing. Total salaries and wages are reported as a W1, which is in this case 25,000 that has been reported in gross payments to employees. The amount withheld, which is also populated in page 2, is 3,380. This is the amount of tax that the employer owes to the ATO to compensate for the tax that the employee will need to pay at the end of the financial year. And then other information that is also relevant for the PAYG withheld will go in here, like withheld amount from people that are not telling your ABN, or other amounts withheld. The PAYG income tax installment also gets a breakdown in this part, which contains the amount that the ATO has calculated that you should pay for the period in advance. And that's it. That's the business activity statement, how you read it, and the information that it contains. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you find this information useful for when reading your business activity statement. Feel free to share or like this video.